Right, so this is for the electric mini shot mini UZI, which is a cheap and nasty UZI that you can get off many websites. I believe Just BB Guns is doing a 3 for 2 offer. Sorry, that's actionhobbies.co.uk is doing a 3 for 2 offer, which is 2 for 20 quid and get a third one free. That's how cheap it is. Now then, however cheap that may seem to deter you, if you've got 3 people wanting to buy in bulk, it's quite a nice gun. I mean, it's got 190-ish FPS, I'd estimate. The box probably says 170, I think. Box doesn't say anything, sorry. China soft, of course it doesn't. Oh, it does. 160 FPS. Still, I think it shoots a bit more than that. It's, this is a heavily taken apart one. A blue in England, I believe, only blue. It had a cheap stock on it, this cheap stock. Cheap plastic. That's possibly the worst thing made by mankind. Seriously, if anything bad has come out of China Softy, that stock is it. It comes with lots of little bits on it that just feel a bit tacky, to be honest. But overall, this gun's actually quite nice. I mean, it comes with 4 AA batteries, and a charger for them. Cheap batteries, cheap charger. It's China Soft. It's 10 quid. It's gravity fed, and the batteries go in the stock. Not the stock, the grip, pistol grip. So it's, you know, it's got a tiny bit of weight to it, but there you go. Now then, this video is mainly about taking the gun apart, but I will go through the basic ratings of ours. Value, 10 out of 10. I mean, 3 for 20 quid, there's nothing else there. Quality, to be honest, if you actually use it, other than the stock, it's a very high quality gun for what you're paying. It's got low FPS and that, but the build quality of it, I'd easily hit it with a hammer any day. It's a strong gun.
I have.
Sorry. Co-worker said he has. Power, FPS, 5 out of 10.
What was
4 out of 10.
What was the other one? The quality?
I give the quality a 9 out of 10, I think. Right, accuracy grouping. What's the accuracy grouping all over? Good. We've got good, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. For the range and power it's got, the accuracy and grouping is quite good. Range is low, I know this for a fact. Range is maximum 5 metres. But then again, I've been in a skirmish game where someone's popped out of the bush at 5 metres and shot me. And it has got some power at 5 metres. It just seems, it kicks you out at the beginning. It's a weird and interesting weapon like that. Historical accuracy, I know nothing of the UZI, but as far as I can tell, it's a 4, I'd give it probably. Ease of use. Here we go, simple guide. Batteries in bottom. Tells you where put. Slide to catch across, open. This should be on top, slide back. Put BBs in, slide forward, closed. Fire. Fire. It's easy to use, so I'm going to give that like a 9 on ease of use. It's very easy to use. Accessories, features, it has none. Other than a battery charger. Battery charger, thumbs up. I'd give it a 4 still though. Magazine, that is gravity fed, so obviously I can't say much about the magazine. But it rarely misfires as far as I can tell, but it's still gravity fed, so I'm going to give it a 2. And G rating, coming out of the bush and spraying with this dude is pretty epic, so I'm going to give it a 5. What's that overall? 58 overall. So that makes this gun an okay gun, which is a high D. So it's okay, but it is a cheap gun, as I keep saying. And it is very easy to take apart. As you can see, I've already stripped this down to the bare minimum. Now this video is mainly going to be about taking apart this gun and other cheap AEGs. Now the reason you've seen this one stripped so much is because I'm actually thinking about building a Bren gun. A very low powered, cheap Bren gun. But nonetheless, a Bren gun, gravity fed from a mag on top. Great idea. That's Right, so the key features that this is going to have different to the Bren is nothing. I mean, basically it's going to be a Bren body built around it. I think I'm going to change the barrel. Now, a friend fell over the other day and broke his shotgun in pieces. So this is the barrel from this UZI. It's very short. You know, it's smaller than my penis, so it must be fairly short. It's got a little feed hopper on it. So I'm going to take this apart in a second. This metal barrel is glued into it, so I'm going to have to heat up the metal barrel and then insert the shotgun one after it. The shotgun one is slightly wider. I've got no idea how I'm going to do this. I'll get it done. That'll go straight back in. There. And from that we will continue the video and show what it looks like after you've done a very basic modification. I may also, for my Bren, play about with some battery configurations by completely removing the stock piece and possibly even removing all safety and trigger. But that's all electronics and not really mechanics, because the trigger is actually a basic electrical switch that you can buy at Maplin's for about 10p. So it's a very basic gun, it's a cheap gun. Key points, this gearbox is built into the gun. It's not a separate gearbox. This motor is, I've seen them on eBay for £1 I think. So yeah, anyway, let's get on. Right, so I've just taken a trigger assembly out, a simple thing. As I said, it's got a real electronical switch, it's simple to use. So if I just quickly show you, this just goes on the top. Now you've got to have patience, this could take 10, 11 attempts to get this back on the top correctly. It takes time. Right, so having spent about 10 minutes just trying to get it all in place, seriously, if a gun doesn't go back together, especially cheap AEG, after you've taken it apart, just look at all the pieces and look for the single piece which is out of place, because you've always put one bit in the wrong place. What I'd just done is I had a little wire caught underneath it, I think, and I had another piece that wasn't in track, and the gearbox hadn't reset. So it's just some simple stuff. Now, I've not put any screws in, so you really shouldn't do this if you want to survive your AEG to survive. But hell, I'm hardcore, I'm redneck. So I'll put this back together, put the batteries in, and then you see it's just got this single cheap electrical switch here. And to fire the gun, I'm going to hold it. If my lovely assistant could also hold it at the back. So we have now two sets of hands. Ah, it's not firing. It's not bad, it's not good. At least the electrics work. Right, so having just taken it apart, tried to show you on video, turned it on via this tiny little switch to try and fire. It didn't work. The gearbox was in the wrong position. This happens, get over it. You have to then take it apart again and play for 10 minutes doing absolutely jack all. Try and get it in the right position, at which point it will go back together then, so then you've got to play for 10 minutes trying to get it back together again. Hopefully you'll have a look after the 20th minute, it takes time. So now I've got this gun to fire just on this tiny little switch, no safety at all, just an electronic Maplin switch. Everything else is still there. If you want to take apart more, it's easy enough, it's basic electrical circuits. If you don't need the electrical circuit of a switch and a batteries and a motor, because that is what this is, switch, 4 batteries, motor, then you shouldn't be on YouTube. It's as much as you should ever really need to take apart a cheap AEG, because if you want to make some sort of mini defender cannon with an aerosol can, that's all you'll ever need to take apart the switch, because you can access the switch now. The gearbox on a cheap AEG is not worth playing about with. You'll either break the motor or it just won't work. You shouldn't really put any more battery power in it. Your motor will either burn out or it won't pull back the spring. The only other addition I have done for this gun to put the Bren gun is put washers behind the spring. Now there's not a chance that you can put a more powerful spring in it, because you can't get a low enough power spring to put in a cheap AEG like this. You know, if I wanted to put a more powerful spring, I'd want to put a 230 FPS spring in it, and you just can't buy them. The lowest you can buy is about 290, 300. So I've put a couple of washers behind it, not many, just literally 2 washers of about half centimetre in depth, 5mm. That's about as much as you can do with this. What I'll do next, I think, to this to make it into my Bren gun is chop off this bottom bit and put the batteries behind, chop off the top sights, that's all it is, and then build up the top. And also change it for a longer barrel for slightly more accuracy.